Hello guys, and welcome to another episode of Zay's Experience. My name is Zay, and today we're going to be talking about my 35-day update on my full carnivore diet. So let's check that out. So where do I start? There's a bunch to cover today. The overall things that I'm going to be going over in today's video are going to be how this diet has affected my stomach, how it has affected my joints, how it has affected my sleep patterns, my skin and hair, and what are my overall thoughts and conclusions with this whole diet and craziness. First thing, the stomach. I have noticed really big reduction in stomach inflammation. I can see that in the mornings the bloating has decreased even more. Obviously that has been along with some fat loss that has happened, but we'll get into that a little bit more later. I haven't had any significant diarrhea problems anymore after that one I reported around the 15th day that I reported to you guys, the 16th day. But I found that out. It happened to be that heavy whipping cream. And that was about the only thing that kind of got my stomach upset. But right now I'm feeling great. I'm eating 2 to 3 meals a day, and that feels like it's perfectly fine for me. I noticed that I only eat 2 meals if I'm not super active, but since my job does require that I am to be a very active person, I gotta eat and plan kind of a little bit ahead for that. By the end of the day, I end up playing my instrument, I end up doing these videos, plus I put in my workout time, so that really starts to add up. But even then, I don't feel hungry throughout the day. Nothing. I'm feeling nothing. I'm really just zero hunger. It's just a very consistent thing. So there is zero hunger, even though I am a very active person, even though I go ahead and exercise really heavily. Well, as heavily as my body permits right now, since I am kind of still injured. But overall, stomach's doing great. It's doing way better than it was before. Nothing too big to report on that part other than a lot less inflammation. Bowel movements are a lot better. Nothing crazy happening. And we are fine. Having said that, as I had mentioned to some of you down in the comments from the previous video, my sister started to do this carnivore diet because she started seeing the results that I was having, and so she kind of started to do her own research, and she started to find out that a lot of people were reporting the same results as I was. And so she was very skeptical about it at first, but about a week and a half ago, she gave me a call and she said, you know what, I'm gonna start doing this tomorrow. And she started off, I believe, last Monday, and right now it's been around 9 days, so she's been at it for some time, and she didn't have any problems other than she felt she needed some more fiber. I know for most people it's okay to completely cut out the fiber and it works fine, but there's also a good percentage of people that have reported that they feel a little clogged up when this happens. So again, this isn't a one thing approach. I don't think no diet can be approached in that way. I don't think it makes any sense to go ahead and do that. This carnivore diet might not work for some people. This carnivore diet might work for some, but in the case of my sister, she said she required a little bit more broccoli because she wasn't going to the restroom as regularly as she normally does. And even though she is eating no carbs at all, she went cold turkey, just straight up carnivore, she found out that she still needed that. She still felt like she didn't go to the restroom in like 2 to 3 days from what she reported to me. And I said, yeah, go ahead and add some broccoli to that, maybe some avocado, and that's perfectly fine. And she said, that's not going to be carnivore, maybe this diet isn't for me. And I told her, go ahead and give that a shot, and if they don't function properly, then yeah, go ahead and get off that diet. She added those in around the 7th day, and right now it's the 9th day, and I just spoke to her this morning, and she said that she was perfectly fine. Her bowel movements are regular. She's starting to see a considerable amount of fat loss, though it could just be some of the water retention that she's losing because it's the first couple of days. She also feels great. She's starting to feel a lot better in the mornings. She says she wakes up and she feels super awesome. But I'll go ahead and leave all these details for another video. But so far she's doing great, and that's the only instance of a stomach problem that I've kind of heard of that's closely related to me. But to push the sister aside, and let's continue with me. So in terms of weight loss, yes, I have lost a considerable amount of weight. I started off this diet at 198. I was 198 pounds, and I would always fluctuate between 198 to 200 pounds all the time. I'm happy to say that today I am sitting in front of this camera at 185 pounds. Yes, that is a considerable amount of weight in just 1 month. Sure, a good portion of it, a lot of you might argue, a lot of it is water weight. let's say 9 pounds of that was water weight, and that's a considerable amount of water. That's still 5 to 6 pounds of fat that got lost by just eating bacons, eggs, steak, and all kinds of other fatty meats that people say it's impossible to lose weight with. You're not gonna lose weight by eating more fat. It just sounds counterintuitive, and I get it. It does sound counterintuitive. Like I said, I did the typical 6 to 7 meal bodybuilder diet for a very long time. I did keto, I did intermittent fasting, I did time restricted feeding. I've gone through a very big part of it, and I've never seen results this fast, that feel this great, that are this noticeable. So in that regards, I am extremely happy. But even more so than the fat loss, I think it's been a lot easier on my mind, and I think that is one of the biggest pluses of all this. The first week, as I reported before, was very, very hard to deal with. It was not the easiest thing, and one of the reasons is because you start to get used to the fact that other people are going to be eating things in front of you that you won't be able to eat, and you gotta let that be okay. But once you get past over that hump, it's so easy to keep on track. I have found it a lot easier than any other diet. Every other diet I used to force feed myself, whether it be greens, whether it be eating rice, brown rice, white rice, yams, potatoes, oatmeal, steel cut oats, you name it. I had to force feed myself all the time. With this particular diet, I can happily say that I have not force fed myself once. You heard that, once, not once, throughout the entire thing so far. And that for me is worth millions. Peace of mind is gold. It really is. It keeps me sane. We have too much crap on that is affecting us on the outside for us to be worrying about all this other extra things that should come a little bit more natural to us, at least I think. So that was my little take on that. So very happy with the weight loss, very, very happy. Now for the joints. So one of the main reasons why I started this diet was because a lot of people were reporting in multiple forums that their inflammation levels were starting to drop dramatically. People that had back pain problems, people that had knee problems, joint problems, just about anything that's caused by inflammation. These people were getting significant results all across the board. And so that got me thinking, since I did have a shoulder injury on my left shoulder, a knee injury on my right, and even a little bit on my left as well, that maybe there was something here, something that we hadn't tapped into, and that could potentially help me heal some of these joint problems, or maybe just even reduce the inflammation a little bit so I can go back to doing my daily things. That knee pain that I was suffering and shoulder pain that I was suffering has not completely left me, but it has reduced dramatically. I would just move it a little bit and it would get aggravated really fast, really quick. And now, along with therapy that I've been doing, and I've been doing therapy before I started the diet. I've been doing therapy actually for about 3 months now, and before that I did some more therapy for all this, and this has really, really helped out the entire process a lot. And I know some of you guys might say, well, before that, what were you eating? What were you doing before? I was eating like 40 grams of carbs because I read that carbs cause inflammation. I was eating a bunch of plants. Too many freaking plants. You guys can go ahead and go on my Instagram and you can see all the salads that I was posting up. You can check that out. Just go ahead and click on the Instagram link on the video, and if not, I'll go ahead and leave a link to my Instagram, my Facebook, and my webpage down in the description below. That way you guys can access that. And nothing seemed to help reduce that inflammation as much as just doing this. So yes, I'm gonna totally attribute the reduction of inflammation to this diet. Now, there was 2 things that I really didn't expect to happen, but kind of were a nice plus. My sleep started to become a lot better. I started to feel way better when I woke up. I was waking up sometimes around 3 o'clock thinking that I had overslept since I gotta wake up early for work, and I was like, oh, like I would wake up super fast just thinking that I was super late, that I overslept like 4 or 5 hours, and only to realize that I still had 2 hours to sleep. It actually took me a while not to do that. I would wake up and I would feel so rested that I said, clocks have got to be wrong. I must have overslept. I feel like I slept a lot. And in reality, I mean, I'm not sure what the heck it triggered, but I feel a lot better. I do pass out, and I pass out. I die when I sleep. And also another thing that my girlfriend reported was apparently I snort a little bit. I had that little that you can kind of barely hear. Apparently it's not even existing anymore. So take that as you might. I hear that some people have reported that their sleep apnea has improved dramatically. I don't know, that was a nice plus. The second nice plus that I wasn't expecting at all was the one that I mentioned on a video I did previous to this one. Basically, what it ended up being was my skin started to glow in a completely different way. I feel like my skin is getting a little bit oilier. It feels really good, to be honest. It feels actually really smooth. Also, there's been a considerable reduction in pimples all around my face. Not that I had that many before, but there was the occasional weird unicorn right here, right in the forehead, or something over to the side. Minor ones, they all started to almost disappear completely. That's a great thing. And one of the other things that I mentioned in one of my other videos was the skin under my beard actually started to get a lot more oily, and that has reduced the dandruff that occurs under my beard considerably. As you guys may have watched, I have a couple of other videos that are beard related on this YouTube channel. I speak about the importance of beard oil and how it's great for your skin, how it has many benefits. I can honestly say that I'm using half of the beard oil that I was using before, and it's working just as good. I don't have any dandruff on my beard at all. I haven't put anything on today. I have noticed that both on my beard and my normal hair, it seems to be growing a lot faster. And it also kind of looks a little bit nicer too. I also have noticed that my hair has been flaking a lot less than it was before. Almost all my dandruff is gone. That's a good thing. With long hair, it's really easy to get dandruff if you don't take good care of it. So I'm really liking these secondary things such as the skin, the beard, and the sleep. Obviously, this video has gone long enough. I just wanted to be as thorough as possible with you guys. But overall, these are my thoughts on this carnivore diet. No, I don't think that this diet is meant for everybody. Even though I'm having great results, I really don't think there's a one approach to diet for anybody. We're all different people. Some are tall, some are short, some are literally big boned, and some people just aren't. So we can't really expect a cookie cutter approach to everything. So I wouldn't expect for everybody to eat this way and to not have any problems. Everybody's different. We gotta tweak things in a way that works for us, whoever that person may be. As I mentioned earlier, that's why I mentioned my sister's example. She needed to have a little bit of broccoli. She needed to have maybe a little bit of more fats. That's why we added that avocado in as well. And everything seems to be working fine now. She actually thinks is a feasible thing to do now, just because we added those back in and her bowel movements started to move regularly, and everything just kind of started to make sense with the progress that she did notice. So going 100% carnivore for her wasn't the answer. She still needed that extra fiber. She still needed a supplement with that piece of broccoli, with that piece of avocado. I think that's actually a good scenario that proves that. Second, I don't think that 35 days is enough for any diet. Obviously, with any diet, if you start seeing that within the first 25 to 30 days you don't see any amount of improvement, nothing whatsoever, then yeah, it's safe to call it off and be like, well, that kind of didn't do anything for me at all. I didn't lose any weight. I seemed to be stagnant and there was no progress. But I have noticed a considerable amount of progress, and it seems that the more I keep within this diet, the more the progress gets amplified. Just like I was mentioning, the sleep at first, it was really good, but now it's great. The joint issues that I had, they were getting reduced at the beginning. The joint pain started to get reduced quite a bit, but now that it's the 35th day, I can considerably see it getting reduced even more. So all these things take time. We can't expect everything to work for everybody, especially by just giving it 7 days or 14 days and then, yeah, this thing isn't for us. Let's call it off. No point in doing this. No. So I'm gonna be sticking with this diet for 90 days. So I'm going to be taking you guys along for that trip, and hopefully you keep on watching those videos. Another thing that I'm also going to be doing is I'm going to be putting on a lot more recipes in this channel. That way you guys can go ahead and start off cooking some different meals. That way your meal plan doesn't get stagnant, or if some of you guys feel like you need more variety to stick to this diet, then these might just be the videos or recipes that you guys need. So you're going to see a lot more of those recipes on this channel, so stick around for that. But that is it for today, guys. Thanks for joining me on another episode of Say's Experience. I really appreciate you guys watching. Please go ahead and leave a comment below. Give this video a thumbs up if you guys like it. It really helps support the channel. If you have any questions or anything that you guys want to see, please go ahead and leave it down there, and I'll be sure to read it. I know this may come as a shocker, but please subscribe, guys. It really does help. It really does make a difference. It helps me by realizing that you guys do want to keep on seeing this content, that you guys are really interested. That's how you guys let me know that what I'm putting out is meaningful. You guys are my feedback. So please go ahead and do me a favor and click that subscribe button. But that is it for today, guys. Zay out. Peace.